ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ श्रीपरमात्मने नमः अथ दशमोऽध्यायः विभूतियोगः श्रीभगवानुवाच यच्चापि सर्वभूतानां बीजं तदहमर्जुन न तदस्ति विना यत् स्यात् मया भूतं चराचरं नान्तोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परं तप एष तूद्देशतः प्रोक्तः विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंशसम्भवम् अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्याहमिदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत् ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे विभूतियोगो नाम दशमोऽध्यायः.
All right. So we are concluding now the 10th chapter. I think we should be able to finish it sooner than our allotted time. So we would like to have discussion after that, And I would like people to give their feedback on this, maybe add if I had missed on something or any other suggestions. So 39, it's continuation of the, Bhagwan talked about all his vibhutis. Now he's saying, all these is fine, all the vibhutis, but, and also, yachapi sarva bhutana, and I am all beings. In all beings, I am the seed. Seed is the cause. So I am the cause for all the beings. Tad aham Arjuna. So I am the root cause. I am the, the reason for existence of everything, Na tadasti vina yat syat maya bhutam characharam. Char and achar normally is that which moves and that which doesn't move. So normally we say it for, if we are just talking about the beings, then the plant kingdom is achar, and the animal world, fish, other things that are there, um, mammals and reptiles and everything that move, they are in the char category. So both char and achar. So I am both char and achar. So Bhagavan is basically declaring he's, he or she is everything. So when we talk about seed, so let's say there is a mango tree. So the cause of that mango tree is the mango seed. So mango seed will give us the mango tree. But in that process, the original seed actually gets destroyed, when it gives rise to the plant. So when Bhagavan says, I am seed of all beings, he is saying that though I am, because Bhagavan is different, So Bhagavan says, I am seed of all, but I am also immutable. nothing happens to me, I create, but nothing happens to me. So, like the mango seed will give mango, apple seed will give apple, all the other things. But Bhagavan says the whole srishti has come out of me. I am so we call it the nimitta karan, and so we can say the intelligent cause and the material cause. So both is Bhagwan only. In if you know uh, go back to the rest of the verses, basically everything when we say, then see, like the monkeys will give birth to other monkeys, or donkeys will give birth to other donkeys. So same way, all the animals only replicate their kind. But from Bhagwan, everything has come. So the first cause, it's and also Bhagwan is not just the cause, it is also the matter, of that. So that's the Bhagwan's greatness in this. So there is nothing that can exist. See, if something exists, if you can say something exists, then it is Bhagwan. That the root cause is Bhagwan. So because Bhagwan's nature is of existence, the existence is Bhagwan. So if anything exists, then Bhagwan is there. So and also Bhagwan is Chitta Swarup. Chitta Swarup means if there is some life in that, then that life is also Bhagwan. Not also Bhagwan, the life is Bhagwan. So whether it is in plant, whether it is in animal, whatever form, Devatas, Brahmaji, all these things, all uh, from amoeba all the way to Brahmaji, they are all that Jivatva is Bhagwan, if any life form is there. So, or Bhagwan says, in the uh, in any energy form, So this is about the beings, but in the energy form, Bhagwan says, whether it is, kinetic, potential, the solar energy, electric energy, whatever form, magnetic energy we can think of, it is all because of Bhagwan. Nothing else is possible. So source is Bhagwan. That's the point of, if there is something, without me means without Bhagwan, it doesn't exist. So that's the point. But the main point is Hari jaise ka taisa. That means the Hari doesn't change, the God doesn't change even a bit. Things just come and go. And now Bhagwan explains how it is. नान्तो अस्ति मम दिव्यानाम विभूति नाम परंतप एष तु तद्देशतः प्रोक्तः विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया. Because he says there is no um end to my divine celestial glory, or vibhuti, all this. There is no end to that. Na antah, na nanto asti. There is no end to mama divyanam vibhuti. So that's whether it is in time, in place, desha kala vastu, in all forms, Bhagwan alone is. This is what Bhagwan has given is a brief sampler, because the question raised by Arjuna was, in what form should I worship you? Tell me about your vibhuti, tell me about your greatness. So Bhagwan was just sampling a little bit, but then he said that there is no end to it. How much can I tell you? Just whatever I have told you is just a brief sampler, because I am present in all desha kala vastu, in time, in place, in matter, in beings, everywhere I am. And what कहता है, I have told you this uddeshatah, you know, because I've given you a brief examples. That's it. जैसे तुलसीदास जी भी कहते हैं, हरि अनंत, हरि कथा अनंता. Hari is Anant and his stories are also Anant, so that is the point. So he says, I am the origin and source of all. That's the main point of this. Everything you can know, you can experience, that originated, that can only originate from me only. So, and they exist in me also. They originate in me, they exist in me, and then they get dissolved in me. So that's the, uh, and then Bhagavan says, let me give you some guidelines about my vibhutis. So, because it is countless, because in different chapters, in starting from the seventh chapter onwards, Bhagavan has given several vibhutis. He has talked about it. So, like in seventh chapter, I think the verse 8 through 12, he talks about his vibhutis in certain forms. In this chapter itself, he has talked about 81 different vibhutis Bhagwan has given, because vibhuti is also Bhagwan. Vibhuti is like, when you see vibhuti, you think of Bhagwan only. That's the whole point. That means it should attract you to Bhagwan. That's the But our mind is, what happens is we get attached to things. We say, wow, we look at a sunset and we say, wow, what a beautiful sunset. That sunset should remind us of Bhagwan, because that's Bhagwan's vibhuti. So everything that we say, wow, that should automatically um, point us to Bhagavan. This is Bhagavan's vibhuti. So main important thing is Bhagavan in this. But what happens is, because we get so carried away with things that we want, or our desires, our limited thinking, so we don't see Bhagavan in everything. We just see इसमें मुझे we see sukh buddhi in things or people, but not Bhagwan. So Bhagwan says, forget about it. You see, because point is, if everything is Paramatma, Adi, Madhya, Ant, everything is Paramatma, then why discuss vibhutis? Why we talk about, you know, almost 100 plus vibhutis we have talked about in the last couple of chapters. So the point is not, it is a method of sadhana. It is a method that should remind you it is because of Paramatma, and it is Paramatma in a different form. So Paramatma alone is playing all the roles. So that's the way we have to understand that. You know, the best example I think of is the dream analogy. So when we have a dream, suppose we have a dream where we are meeting some friends in a place. All these friends are there in our dream. They are chatting, they are eating, they are having a good time. Let's hope of a good dream. So, so they are having a great time, but each and everything in that dream is actually nothing but projected from our mind only. The the uh, the Jagrat uh, has now become the dream person. So that the all the different, because what is Jagrat Avastha? Jagrat Avastha is what we call as Vishwa, which is consciousness plus the let's say, collection of what we think I am, mind and body and intellect and ego and all these things. And the in the dream also, it is there projected with all the other people. See, all the other people are also projected by you, by the waker. So the waker alone is present in everyone's. So the existence of every person in that dream, every object in that dream, every laugh and cry and joke in that dream is actually projected by that waker into that dream. So the moment the dream folds, it goes back to the waker, right? So the dream has nothing left. So same way you think of this whole jagat as Bhagwan's dream, the Bhagwan has projected it, and then so everything exists in that particular. So it is called sapnavat. Sapnavat means like a dream, but we cannot stretch it too much. It is to be understood as an example, not as so don't assume. Then we give Bhagwan a identity as a person, so that we want to avoid. So continuing on that, yadyat vibhuti mat satvam. So all these, yadyat means jojo, whatever you can, um think of, mat, vibhuti mat, that the glories that we have talked about. Sattvam, sattva means that which exists here. Shrimat urjitam eva va. That means that Shrimat is that which is valuable, that is, that has speciality, that has some greatness, So that urjitam is like power, energy, the 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 reason for its existence. So, even if you think about it, how this body exists, this body is also a composite structure, right? It has many parts. The brain is doing a certain thing. There is a neurological factor in it. There is a circulatory factor or the system in us. There is an intelligence which is in every cell. It knows what to do at what time, So, but all that is only there till that Chaitanta is there. The Chaitanyata is there. The life is there. The moment the life is not there, no matter how great that person was, he is taken to crematorium, he's gone. Like next day, in India, they don't wait, it's gone. Here, they keep it for a few days, ki chalo, let all the people come in to say the last bye. But the bye is done, the person is gone. So there is uh, nothing left. But we say it from our point of view that, okay, what, we want to say the last buys, So this is a general principle we have to think about. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam. That anything, any being, any object, uh, that is existing, mat sattvam, that exists. So you see, or if you see that, you see my vibhuti in that. That's the point. Because it's a speciality or its greatness, or uh, now he tells what greatness, Shrimat. Shrimat is endowed with Shri. Shri is prosperity, wealth, all those things are considered as Shri. So that which is endowed with it, or accompanied by like lot of energy, enthusiasm, all these things, it has come from me, Bhagavan is saying. So whether it is a talent, somebody has a special talent, they can, you know, play some beautiful instrument or can sing beautifully or are very smart in certain fields, scientist or whatever else, so some extraordinary feat that they have. So think that Bhagwan exists in that, it is Bhagwan's glory that they are carrying through. Just say, I remember once we went to Ustad Zakir Hussain concert, and so Jatin was very young. So we went, and his friends were there too. They were learning to play tabla at that time. So so one of the friend took his tabla there and said, "Can you please autograph on that?" So he says, "No, I can't autograph on that. This is where the Saraswati lives, this is the because I worship it, as Bhagwan." So so the instrument is also worshipped by these great artists, as divine. So that the point is the mindset, how we have to tune our mind. This is also a process of sadhana only. So um, so Srimat is that which is attractive. Attractive means which attracts you to it, that which, like different specialities, different greatness, things have, and wealth, prosperity, values. Even when you look at a little kid, this the innocence attracts us, how cute, how innocent this kid is. He has no demands. He's just looking at the world, with some funny expression. So, and all the urjitam is energy. Urja in Hindi we say, the energy, the power. See my glory in that. Tat tat eva avagachatam. Avagachata means understand it to be me only, So tat tat, that whatever earlier we said, whatever we saw, tat tat, those things, you see me in that. People even see, um, we say, uh, even in our Guru Stotram, Tat Padam, please remind me one of the verses from Guru Stotram. He,
Tat
uh,
darshitam
Tat
yena.
Padam Darshitam Yena, that one who has shown me that, the Tatpada. Tatpada means that Bhagwan, that the the greatness of Bhagwan, the one who has shown me that, I bow down to it, So even the Guru is actually a vibhuti of Bhagwan only, Like in, Chinmaya, we have Chinmaya Vibhuti, that is a special area that was created to remember the greatness of Chinmayananda. Uh, so that's the point. Even when you see, like, you have a guru, you put his picture in your room and you think about it, it reminds you of Bhagwan, because you see divinity in that. Other person comes in, he sees an old person sitting there, with a beard. So it depends on how you look at the thing. So same way when we see a picture of Bhagwan Ram or the Murti of Bhagwan, it gives us a divine connection with Bhagwan. That's what reminds us of Bhagwan. So that is why we go to temple, to to reconnect with Bhagwan, sees Bhagwan's presence. But here Krishna is saying that see it everywhere, in everything. So, and then he says, concludes it by saying, why go through all this trouble, Atva bahuna etena, why you need to go through all these things, Kim gyatena tavarjuna, Vishtamay, Vishtabhay aham idam kritsnam. ekanshena sthito jagat. That means in just one ansh of me, in one ansh means in a small portion of me, this whole world exists. This whole world is just in a small part. It कहता है, किम प्रयोजनम? What is the point of knowing so much? That's what Bhagwan is saying. Ki, there is no end to uh, my glory or my to know me. You don't have to go everywhere to see me. You asked, I told you all these things because you asked me a question about how do I remember you, in what form should I remember you. So I gave you a bit of sampler, my vibhutis. uh, because if I tell you for 100 years this thing, it won't end. So there is no end to my glories. Like in, I think in Shiv Mahima Stotra, it says that, even Saraswati ji and Ganesh ji keep singing for, millenniums. They won't be able to sing the whole glory. So there is no end to that. So no matter how much I tell you, Bhagwan is saying to Arjuna, it'll be incomplete. So I told you the sutra. Sutra means the essence here, that basic principle, that um, that that is what you have to understand. What is that? My glory in everything, everywhere, all the time. That movie, everything, everywhere, all at once. So it is there, everything is there all the time. It's not, so the principle is Vishtam idam jagat. The whole jagat is only in one small ansh of me. That means I am the projector of this whole jagat. And this jagat is nothing but my projection. And whenever I want, I can withdraw from it, or, let it continue. कहते हैं रोम रोम प्रति, ये तुलसीदास जी ने लिखा है, रोम रोम प्रति लागे कोटि कोटि ब्रह्मांड. In every, Rome is, how you have hair on your yeah, like arms, little hair. In that, there are thousands or crores of Brahmands, exist in that. So point is, it is infinite. It is just, giving some numbers doesn't mean we have to stick to the numbers. It means it's infinite, because if you think about it, Paramatma alone is the Prakriti. Paramatma alone is the Gyan of that Prakriti. That means knower of that Prakriti also. But the nature of Prakriti is Jad. Jad means insentient. So insentient world cannot know itself. Like, the stones and the rivers, and they cannot know themselves. They just are, So there has to be an entity called Jnanam, So that Jnanam cannot be part of the Prakriti, because Jnanam is sentient. Jnanam is the sentiency which allows us to know this. So knower and known are always separate. Remember that. So in Taittiriya Upanishad, like we say Satchitanand, in that it is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. So Satyam is the existence part, that it is. The isness of this Jagat is Paramatma. The Jnanam about it is also Paramatma, because the whole expanse is nothing but Bhagwan's, that Prakriti is playing there. But Jnanam is other than Prakriti, because Prakriti is unaware of itself. Unaware of itself doesn't mean that it doesn't But Bhagwan is present in all of that too. But see, like Chetana in me, Chetana in a human being is separate from that being. Normally, the science may say that the Chetana is localized in that person, that, by some uh, connection, the life is in the brain, that when brain stops working, the person is gone. Where it is gone, where it came from, that science don't want to talk about. But the point is that it is not local. The jnanam is infinite, but we only have access to it, you know, like in the old days of computing, there was a mainframe and people used to have terminals that only gave you access to whatever you had authority to get access to. Like today we say cloud, and we have access to that cloud only what we are authorized to get. Same way the jnanam is Jnanam is also Anantam, but we only have little access to that, So that's the Jnanam is, you can say, Chaitanyata, you can say it as the ability to know, the knower itself. So all those things, or we say witness, something that is knowing it, And Anantam is endless. Endless is infinite. See, when we talk about mathematical infinite, it it has a different meaning. Because if we are talking about numbers, we say, okay, you know what, the whole numbers are infinite or natural numbers are infinite. That means we cannot count all the way. But here, infinite includes everything, that which cannot be measured in any form. Uh, so point is the jada vastu cannot experience bliss. The Chaitanyata alone is that which experiences the bliss. So point here is that realize your own Chaitanyata, that I am that Chaitanyata because of which I am able to experience everything. And that Chaitanyata is nothing but a, you know, ansh of that Paramatma only, because it is outside of Prakriti, really, So think about it that way. So, so it is, you know, cosmos after cosmos is being held by a small part of me. That's what Bhagavan is saying. Even in Purush Suktam, there is the Sahasra Sirsha Purusha, but in that there comes a line, Etavanasya Mahima, that's a Vibhuti. Etavanasya Mahima, that's the greatness of that Purusha. Eto Jayangsha Purusha, understand that. Padosya Vishwa Bhutani, in 1/4 of it, the whole world comes over and over again. The material world that we know of, the cosmos, or whatever way we want to talk about, whether it is the material or it is whichever form we want to say, that comes in 1/4 of it, and 3/4 of it, padosya vishwa bhutani tripadasya amritam divi. That means that 3/4 is untouched. It doesn't require anything, So that's the say, like you go and listen to some great musician and you hear 1 hour concert. It doesn't mean that what you have seen is all that musician is capable of. The musician is capable of, way more, because he has spent whatever 30, 40 years in practicing that. And what we see a glimpse of it. That's it. So Bhagavan is saying that this in one little part of me, the whole universe exists. So everything that exists is me only, because it is, projected by me. So that's the the Vibhuti Yoga. So let's do the last one also. Om Tatsata iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu. So this is, we have done it many times, in that has not changed. Tat Sat, that truth. Tat means thatness. Sat. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su. So this Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Upanishadsu, it is a Upanishad, so that's how, because what is Upanishad? Upanishad is that which actually tells our own true nature. That's Upanishad. So Brahma, because in the Vedanta Sara, Bhagavan says, what is Vedanta? कहता है वेदांत नाम उपनिषद वेदांत नाम उपनिषद प्रमाण, so that means the praman of Vedanta is Upanishad. So this is Upanishad. Brahma Vidyayam, it's the knowledge of Brahma. Yoga Shastre, Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade, we talked about Samvad earlier. Sankhya Yogo Nama, oh sorry, इसमें Sankhya Yoga कैसे आ गया? It is a misprint. Vibhuti Yoga Nama, Dashamo Adhyaya. There is a misprint in
या
my.
दिस इज न ओल्ड, मेरे पास भी पुराना वाला बुक है
Ah,
जिसमें है, हाँ.
so it is the Vibhuti Yoga that Bhagavan has talked about, and Dashamo Adhyaya. So we finished 10 chapters with God's grace. And so we will, so I think I can conclude and then we can continue our discussion. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yep.
Can I say something?
Yes, please. Yes.